Wisdom Part 4 by J.P.W. To the Ages. This is the wisdom that was never learned from the beginning of time. Mankind has paid dearly for its mistakes time and again, having learned nothing. Here is wisdom, my friend, as it was meant to be learned. Good things come to those who wait, and patience is the mark of a good person. You see, hatred cannot wait, anger cannot wait, greed cannot wait, and crime cannot wait. So be it with pride, glory, lust, envy, and all forms of vanity. Even in mankind's original sin, Adam and Eve could not wait. You see, haste is the work of the devil, even his very strength. Your knowledge from heaven is the devil's time on earth is quickly coming to an end. Thus, his work pace is ever quickening. Search the last scriptures, now in the time for mankind to learn that patience is the enemy of Satan, and therefore the wisdom of Yah. Yahuwah is eternal. Yahuwah recognizes not time but faith and works only. Satan is the prince of this world, therefore he is the prince of time. Here is further wisdom, my friend. Wisdom is nothing without acting upon it. To the world. Yah has asked only one thing from man since all time, to always have a complete love toward him, meaning his ways as found in life. This is simple, all that he wants. Do not therefore take her for the things of this world. This has been the reoccurring sin of man since all time. In early time, Yahuwah spoke to man, and man turned from Yah. Then Yahuwah organized man and made law, and man turned from Yahuwah's law. Then Yahuwah sent prophets to man to help man, but man killed his prophets. Then Yahuwah sent Christ, Yahushua, to teach and save man, and good people turned their backs while others killed their Eloah. Yahuwah has always increased his love toward mankind, and mankind has only increased his love of this world. In this world, as man know it, the time of Yahuwah's love is nearly over. Now is the time of warning. The last step of Yahuwah's love for mankind is to bring heaven down to earth and establish Yahuwah's kingdom at the resurrection. But before this, there will be a great harvest. Yahuwah shall gather his good crops, then he shall literally burn the bad. But ever mindful of this wisdom, keep it close to your heart. When fear sets in to your heart, as it should, remember that Yahuwah has asked only one thing from man since all of time. And to all mankind, Yahuwah has succeeded in making life so simple, while at the same time man has succeeded in making life so confounding. The wisdom attainable in this world is far above any one person's ability to understand, and the blessing attainable in this world are far beyond any person's ability to receive. Yes, one's life is right. Everything is so simple, yet few reach this level of life because they just do not understand the laws that govern them. You see, when Yahuwah made heaven and the earth, he put into place laws. These are the laws of nature and the laws of Yahuwah, our Eloah, which means God. One law of nature is where a good upright man cleaning a gun pulls the trigger and the last round in the chamber discharges his 2-year-old girl. Neither of these people suffer because of their sin. They are simply subject to the laws of nature. Similarly, when a person secretly gives to the poor and gives their time to the elderly who are in need, they are blessed by Yahuwah in multiples of what they have given. This person may not even believe in Yahuwah, but they are subject to the laws of Yahuwah and hence are rewarded and penalized accordingly. If you will learn from the laws of Yahuwah, you will obtain that wisdom which will simplify your life. Now receive the wisdom of learning. Mankind has forever spent in time learning the laws of nature, of which we now understand less than half. Likewise, you could spend your lifetime trying to pull the laws of Yahuwah from the Bible, after which you might learn less than half, as so many Bible scholars are even bewildered and in disagreement today. No, you must be more simple and wise than those more educated than yourself. The laws of nature boil down to conservation of mass and conservation of energy. The entire universe is governed by two laws that even you can understand. Likewise, with the laws of Yahuwah, they boil down to having a complete love of Yahuwah and loving your neighbor as much as Yahuwah has loved you. These two laws govern the entire world, also you can easily understand them. Go into as much detail as your abilities permit, but know that you can receive the full blessing permissible under the law, no matter how much or how little you know about Yahuwah. Learn this and you will always understand why the good and the bad happens in your life. And do not care for the things of this world. They are of no consequence and should not be confused with Yahuwah's blessings. Consider the rich person. Their very possession of wealth moves them away from Yahuwah in order to protect what they have. They only appear to have blessings. You must learn that you have the ability to structure your life around both the laws of nature and laws of Yahuwah. You are completely free to draw upon the wealth of heaven. It is there for any person of any faith. No one is excluded for any reason. Let no one tell you that there is a different from what is written here. Remember always that a blessing is a two-edged sword, because whether or not you choose to accept the wisdom offered here, you will still be subject to both the laws of nature and the laws of Elohim Yahuwah. If you think you are exempt from any laws, life will continue to confound you until, that is, the day you stand naked before Yahuwah, and the day you will finally understand everything. To all Americans, the very blessing that Americans enjoy have become the cause of our failings, as have many great nations before us. Americans have assumed that they can purchase their way toward heaven. This is the one great failing. We believe that if we give one portion of our wealth to Yahuwah, that we will be judged good people. We believe that if disaster strikes a land, that we may open our pocketbooks a little and we will be judged good people. We believe that when anything is wrong in our nation, pouring money into the problem will make it go away, and we still are good people. Yes, my friend, we certainly do like to believe, don't we? The fact is that as far as Yahuwah and life are concerned, money has caused no problem, and money has cured no problems. Only our belief have caused the problems. Though the use of our money and our beliefs, we can watch and shield ourselves from other people's misery, true heartbreaking, life-threatening misery. After many years of shielding ourselves from other people's misery, we have let ourselves abandon our spirit. The wisdom that will save each person and the nation is that each of us will one day be judged by our works on this earth, not by our faith as we have believed. Opening our pocketbooks is not a work of faith. Right in your own hometown are people needing more help than anywhere else. Within a walking distance of your home are the jobless, homeless, hungry, sick, elderly, abused, widow, and poverty-stricken people of this so-called great nation. You can work to help these people. You can invest just a little of your time and effort and gain more than you give. Your mind will be clearer and sharper, your body will be stronger, and your spirit will become alive, perhaps for the first time ever. Take some of the money you give to Yahuwah and give it to these people. Here are two pieces of wisdom to consider. First, anything of this world that you give selflessly to others is indeed given to Yahuwah. Second, nowhere in the Bible does it say you should ever go to church. It does say in countless places that you should do for the causes listed above. There may indeed be many good reasons for you going to church, but you are required to follow the ways of Yahuwah first and man second. Having received your wisdom, now learn the truth. Pay no attention to your fate. Yahuwah shall be the one to someday judge your fate. He shall judge it only by one thing, your works on this earth. He did not less than this for Yahushua our Messiah. You and I being less are certainly bound also by this truth. To the one who cannot laugh at himself. The way a person laughs tells the world a lot about himself. When a person can laugh at problems, it shows that they can keep them in their proper perspective. His problems will never control his life. When he can laugh during times of sorrow, it shows a balance in his life. He can truly cherish the good and the bad in his life. When he can laugh with others, it shows an open heart. When he can laugh during times of fatigue, it shows his mind is still alert. When he can laugh during times of pain, it shows control over emotions. But my friend, when a person can laugh at himself, it shows that he know his place in this world. For one should never consider himself any more important than the littlest of matters. This is the mark of a person who is able to walk in the ways of Yahuwah. This person understands what humility is. He considers Yahuwah and all other people to be more important than himself. The way he treats others is more important than the way he treats himself. He loves life and has come to the realization that he is but a small note in this grand scale. My friend, never let life swallow you up by placing importance in yourself in your life. You are committing yourself into a lifelong battle of supporting this notion, and this fight will consume you forever. You now have two roads before you, and you have been given the wisdom to choose between them. To the depressed, there is a secret to depression that one must learn before they can set their self to battle against it. Learning and believing in the secret is more important than the actual battle that follows, for that are some battles which are known to be won before they are entered, and this is one such battle spoken here. My friend, learn the value of time. Your depression can only be done slowly. Your patience must slowly be developed as you are putting aside the depression. Everything must be gained in small increments. Most large gains will soon be offset by large losses, and you will be worse off than before. Allow this wisdom to settle into your heart before you set out on your course. Now you must realize that loneliness can occupy one's mind for a high percentage of time. Even if you are often surrounded by others, your mind and your heart are still alone inside of you. You spend too much time thinking of your own problems, and therefore they magnify themselves in proportions to the good things in your life. This imbalance in your mind causes an imbalance in your body. The steps necessary to reverse this are the exact opposite of those listed here that got you to where you are. The good news is that you got yourself to where you are so you can truly get yourself to where you came from. Get involved with helping your friends solve their problems. Even if you cannot solve them, discuss them. When the discussion turns to you, discuss your problems openly. And if you know you have them beaten already, as and said before, the battle has been won. By taking your mind off your big problems and earnestly and constantly giving toward others, your problems will greatly diminish in size. Eventually, you will realize that your problems are no bigger than those of your friends. Now change your diet. Every few months, a chemical imbalance has been established inside you, and you have been unwittingly fueling it. Yahuwah has given your body the ability to decide what it needs. Change your diet often, and your mind will slowly reprogram itself to seek that which it needs. When you see gains being made, return to the wisdom you promised to live by, that of small gains. Stop occasionally and maintain control over that which you now have. If you have been depressed for 10 or 20 years, it is not a 2-year turnaround. Isn't a 2-year turnaround remarkable? Yes, it is. Remember, your body changes slowly, and it has no chance of keeping up with your mind, but this is by Yahuwah's design. When you suffer setbacks here and there, as well all do, your slow-acting body and its chemicals will allow your mind to weather the storm. My dear friend, believe that the battle can be won before it is even entered, but also believe that the necessary preparations must be made. There is no substitution for this wisdom, and find a friend be willing to give selflessly to them in order that you may obtain that which you need back from them. If you cannot find a friend, you simply are not looking. Every person in this world can count their true friends on less than 5 fingers. As such as value commodity, everyone is looking for one more true friend. Most people have more diamonds than true friends, and who would turn from a free diamond or a true friend, right? To the one whose heart is in the wrong place. It is written, whether Wherever your treasure is, there also will your heart be. This can be your blessing or your curse. If you store up riches on this earth, your heart will be with these goods, and you shall spend your life attaining to them. After you are gone, they shall surely rot and spoil, just as your body in the ground will. If you store up riches in heaven, there also will your heart be. Riches in heaven are your acts upon this earth, your goodwill toward others, your sacrifices for others, your obeying Yahuwah's laws, your praying for Yahuwah's will to be done rather than your own selfish will, and being truly sorry when you sin against Yahuwah, your Eloah. These are but a few examples of riches in heaven. And it is written that if a person delivers just one soul from sin to Yahuwah in his ways, that person shall save the other from death and shall hide a multitude of sins. This is perhaps the greatest gift one can give to Yahuwah, and from a purely selfish standpoint is that the greatest treasure one can store in heaven. To the one who does not understand. Wisdom is nothing if one cannot understand. Here it is reduced to mere wind, passing through the trees. My friend, before you can desire wisdom, you must orient your mind toward understanding the wisdom that which comes upon you. Being wise in itself is nothing but pure vanity, nothing more than pride, all puffed up. You see, the understanding of wisdom allows one to set priorities in their life. These priorities, once set into motion, would automatically guide a person through their decisions. The understanding of wisdom allows one to recognize when their priorities in life have come off track. They can see their own flaws when their earthly desires cause them to change their priorities. The understanding of wisdom will not keep a person from making mistakes. It will just help them make fewer and fewer mistakes as time go on. My friends, strive always toward understanding and appreciating your priorities. Your priorities must be Yahuwah and His laws, and others and their needs, and yourself last. Here is your help in understanding. Never intentionally place yourself last, just place others before yourself. In giving to others, you will be delivering yourself to where you want to be. Trust in Yahuwah, your Eloah, keep faith in yourself, and have patience with all others. Yahuwah bless you in all your endeavors. And to the one who does not understand failure, there is a very short story in the Bible that tells us more about mankind than any other book written since. Read the story of John the Baptist in Luke 7:12-23. Understand what this story means. Then understand the magnitude of what it says and what it means to you. Earlier in Matthew 3:13-17, John met Yahushua, Messiah, baptized him so the Holy Spirit could enter him. Literally saw the Holy Spirit descend from heaven, and then was one of the only people to hear the voice of Yahuwah, our Father in heaven. What an experience. If we could just see some sort of proof like this. Well, my friend, there was not too much time that had passed by before John started to doubt himself, and hence we have this story. By what we know of John, he was a very fervent preacher and prophet. He was afraid of no man, however. The chief priest and religious leader indeed feared him, perhaps more than they feared Messiah, Yahushua. They knew they had a prophet in John, but they did not know what to make of the Messiah. Messiah himself, it would seem, he had more respect for John than any other man of whom he had ever spoken, as mentioned in Luke 7:24-28. Then we return to this story, the failure of John. Yes, John had his doubts. His doubts were based upon two realities. First, he raised as a Jew and was falsely taught to expect certain things from the Messiah Yahushua. Does this sound like today's world? Second, and most important, John was a man, and this is where you will find your wisdom. You see, John did not fail, he merely wavered. Messiah Yahushua was correct in his assessment of John. Of those born of women, there was not a greater prophet than John, but he was just a man. Now, all this being true, how are we to keep our faith? Compared to what John has seen, heard, and done, we have nothing. Stop and think about what this means. It means that, like John, you will not fail, but you will certainly waver from time to time. You will have days in your life when you will be repulsive to Yahuwah and will shame even yourself. When John the Baptist is resurrected, he will certainly look back upon his incident and be completely ashamed. But John has succeeded in life, as so will you. Obviously, a little wavering, what we call failure, is just a part of life, a part of our growth. The important part is that we do indeed grow and strive to do better as we learn life. We will even get to where we want to be or ought to be. Probably not, but learn that in life, things are always getting better over time or getting worse. They rarely stay the same. Stay on the road of getting better. It leads to Yahuwah, whether you believe it in Yahuwah or not. To the one confused about their faith, my friend, there is no wisdom concerning whether or not your faith will draw you to or away from Yahuwah. There is only observation. Any truth and correct observation will help teach you about Yahuwah, your Eloah. It is true that Abraham did not go to church, Isaac never knew the 10 Commandments, Jacob was never baptized, and David never believed in Messiah Yahushua as his Savior, yet they were all good people. They were all blessed of Yahuwah because of their acts toward other people and toward Yahuwah. They knew they sinned occasionally and never were truly sorry to Yahuwah. They were humble themselves before Yahuwah and others, thus they had a genuine respect for life and thought not of themselves for the most part. You should learn from them. Yahuwah's blessings upon them will teach you much about himself. You can observe other people in their lives and learn how Yahuwah felt about them. He is very clear in his feelings, and he is the same today as he ever was. Yahuwah is eternal, and Yahuwah never changes. Now, regarding your own faith, you are allowed to observe the laws of man and the laws of your church. Messiah Yahushua said, "Render unto Caesar that things which are his, and render unto Yahuwah that which is his." If you desire obedience to your church, so be it, but always remember that the laws of Yahuwah come first. If you become confused on a point here and there, then put it aside for a while. The answer will slowly come to you from Yahuwah. Be very patient, even if you think your church rules are causing you to sin. Your conscience answers only to yourself now and to Yahuwah later. You never answer to a church. The answer you search for will come to you in time. Yahuwah can see your heart is in the right place and that you are slowly becoming his. He will wait a long time. Here are more observations to help you. Nearly all organized religions of today were wrong and contrary to Yahuwah. Learn about the wrath of Yahuwah upon Jacob's descendants in the book of Revelation if you disagree. This has always been the case with Yahuwah and mankind. Nowhere in the Bible has Yahuwah ever had a good word about organized religion. My friend, to find the truth of today's world, learn the laws of Yahuwah laid out in time of Abraham and Moses. Then compare these two laws of today's churches. Now realize how many Catholic miracles you have heard of, how many Baptists have been healed by the laying on hands, the incredible goodwill of powerful nations toward the countries of Israel and the Jews therein, and how the children of the Mormons and the Seventh-day Adventists seem to be raised so much more righteous than the others. There are good and bad people in every church. Yahuwah blesses the good-hearted and leaves the bad to their own wicked devices. One can plainly see that Yahuwah has truly found people of every faith worthy of forgiveness and then blesses them in many ways. Now, who can say that the laws of this or that church must be observed? Who can say that the laws of these or those people must be followed? More important, does this tell you that maybe you should think more about what Yahuwah wants from you? Or maybe that you should never consider what other people say that Yahuwah wants from you? My friend, in more ways than you could ever believe, Yahuwah is your Father. You will one day find out that he is truly the Father that you currently believe your birth parent to be. As Messiah Yahushua alluded to in Luke 12:10, your Father is not so interested in you acknowledging Him as your Father as He is in your accepting His ways. Yahuwah teaches us His ways through His Holy Spirit. Once we learn His ways, we are not to reject them under any circumstances. This is the only incident in the Bible as unforgivable. No, there shall be no wisdom offered here, only truth. Commit your heart to Yahuwah. Study His word through whatever faith you can call your own. Pray for His will to be done. Strive to learn and then walk in His ways. Forgive others always and be very sorry when you fail in any of this. Simply told your blessings await you. To the one who cannot forgive. It is written, if you forgive others their trespasses, Yahuwah will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their trespasses, Yahuwah will not forgive you of your trespasses. Here is truth. There is only one way to reach heaven, that is Yahuwah, to forgive you of your trespasses. Here is help. It is easy to forgive others if you do not place importance in your own ways. When we consider ourselves important, we get very upset when others cross it. The more important the matter, the more upset we become. But when we matter not about our ways, it is a small matter when others are contrary to our ways. Here is the wisdom when we become angry with another. We have judged that person as wrong. No person may judge another by that measure which you judge another. Will you one day be judged yourself? Remember, when your anger starts to swell, you have already judged another and you need to seek your help listed above. When the help is not enough, seek truth. When the truth is not enough, seek Yahuwah. My friend, when there is nothing left but Yahuwah, Yahuwah is enough. You see, it is also written that Yahuwah will provide every person the means to escape temptation. To the one who cannot give. This is one of the greatest of all sins, for Yahuwah has given abundantly to you and to all mankind. You have been given life and the free will to do what you will with that life. In manner you will receive, you are expected to give back to Yahuwah and to man. Indeed, this is one of the true purposes of life, to give. Now learn the lesson of giving. If you cannot give to man, you cannot give to Yahuwah. And if you cannot give to Yahuwah, your life is not complete. Through the acts of giving, you will have suppressed your earthly desires and will have chosen Yahuwah's ways. No one has ever found satisfaction in chasing earthly desires, not even Solomon, perhaps the richest man who ever lived. Here is a mystery. People will tire of nearly enjoy every joy found on this earth, but no person has ever tired of the joy of giving. Understand this mystery and you will come to know Yahuwah as few ever have. You will know why you were put here, why and what tests you must face, and you will immediately know your destiny. To the one who does not love others. Of all the gifts one can possess, love for your fellow man is by far the greatest, because it is the one that will never fail. This gift in and of itself will identify you to the world as having the ways and the laws of Yahuwah written in your heart. This greatest gift of Yahuwah is available to all. Not everyone will prophesy, teach, heal, or speak in tongues. All of these other gifts only occupy part of a person's life. They will also pass away in time. But your love for others shall fill your entire life, and it shall never pass away, because Yahuwah's love will never fail. Your love is your only cord to Yahuwah. Yahuwah did not put you on earth merely to worship and praise Him and to just keep the faith alive. You were put here to grow for your heart to grow into His ways, for your spirit to grow into His spirit love, and for your body to grow into being His instrument. Here is wisdom. Mankind will be given 6,000 years to rule this world and grow toward Yahuwah. In the seventh 1,000-year period, Yahuwah shall rest as he rules this world. My friend, read the 10th chapter of Daniel, where two angels had to fight Satan for 21 days so one of them could visit Daniel. Yes, Yahuwah shall indeed rest when Satan is bound for 1,000 years as Messiah Yahushua reigns. Here is the truth. If Yahuwah can bind Satan for the last 1,000 years, he could have bound him for the full 7,000 years if he had desired. Here again is your understanding. You were put here to grow your heart into his ways, your spirit into his love, and your body into his being, his instrument. Your heart and your spirit must grow before your body can fulfill its duty. What does Yahuwah want from your body? The question cannot be answered in this book. Read the Bible. It is Yahuwah's handbook to mankind. Briefly spoken, he wants you to demonstrate your love, life toward others. This is the only act that will demonstrate it to Yahuwah. You now have been given one of the true purposes of life. They are few and precious. They are few and precious, my friend. Never let go of a gift from Yahuwah. To all of Yahuwah's people, you are about to learn that which has never been understood by man. This wisdom is given to you here today because never before has it been needed so very much. Yahushua, our Messiah, stated plainly that man was not made for the Sabbath, but the Sabbath was made for man. It is Yahuwah's gift to us. Why then was it made one of the 10 commandments, punishable by death for violating? Most ministers can tell you about the Sabbath and why it must be kept, but after all of their speaking, they cannot do more than elevate the Sabbath in importance to perhaps the statutes and laws laid down by Moses. They can get the Sabbaths up to the level of tithing, baptism, Yahuwah's holy days, repentance, and maybe even showing your love for Yahuwah. But Yahuwah himself has placed it among his 10 basic laws, which if broken lead to certain deaths unless Yahuwah at his mercy intercedes. As far as you should be concerned, you will die if you break the Sabbath. Before you can truly keep the Sabbath through, you must understand why it is to be kept. My friend, the truth of this world is that Satan has been given charge of this world until Yahushua wrestled it from him. Satan can and does appoint rulers over nations. He has been given the power of all other angels while on this earth, and Satan, knowing the laws of Yahuwah and the ways of Yahuwah, can control your life in ways you cannot imagine. But Yahuwah has given us 10 commandments, the breaking of which is called sin. We can easily understand the other 9 commandments. Right down the line, we understand how they protect us from Satan's ways and preserve the ways of Yahuwah. Yahuwah draws a clear line for us. Our keeping the Sabbath once a week gives us a full day of rest from Satan's world around us. It gives us one day each week to purge Satan from our lives. Once a year is not nearly enough. Once a month and Satan would still win. A week is the next measure beyond a full day. One day per week will keep us walking in the ways of Yahuwah. It is 1/7 of your life, and it shall be counted as more than a tithe. What the world does not understand is that Yahuwah will not kill you for breaking the Sabbath. You will be condemning yourself because you will allow Satan and his igneous net to snare you. You will be living by the ways of man, not by the ways of Yahuwah. So be this wisdom with all of the other commandments. Yahushua, our Messiah, did not elevate the 10 commandments in his Sermon on the Mount. They were always intended to keep Satan out of our lives. Satan has always tried to control our hearts and minds. This has always been Satan's easiest and strongest hold on us. The 10 commandments are indeed Yahuwah's gift to mankind. Now concerning the Sabbath, Yahuwah keeps it very simple. He says that we should do no work on the Sabbath, period. No matter what your ministry says, this is all that Yahuwah said. He leaves the rest up to us. Each of us in our own heart will decide what can and cannot be done and under this guideline. To the same degree, we will be deciding to what extent we will be purging Satan from our lives, and more correctly, to what extent we will be allowing Satan into our lives. Messiah Yahushua himself taught that we ought to use common sense in our decisions. We allow us to take care of any emergencies that arise. These are not of Satan, so they shall not be counted as sin against us. My friend, you have been given the wisdom of the Sabbath and indeed the wisdom of the Ten Commandments. Remember, only your actions shall bring you to death, not Yahuwah's actions. Yahuwah's actions shall only bring life, for he is the Elohim of the living and not of the dead. This is the wisdom that has always been close to Yahuwah's heart, and it is the wisdom that has always escaped mankind in its pursuit of earthly goods. On earth, the Sabbath is Yahuwah's gift to us. In heaven, the Sabbath is Yahuwah's way of measuring mankind, for it is the quickest test of whether a person seeks Yahuwah or whether that person seeks the things of this world. So be it with all the Ten Commandments. Now seek life, seek the Ten Commandments, seek Yahuwah, and finally seek understanding, for without this you shall be attaining nothing. Yahuwah bless you in your journey ahead. To the one who does not know how to fear Yahuwah. To know Yahuwah, to love Yahuwah, to obey Yahuwah, and yes, my friend, to see Yahuwah, you must first fear Yahuwah. When you truly come to know Yahuwah, you will realize that all power, glory, and judgment belongs to Yahuwah, our Eloah. With this, a certain fear will settle into your heart, along with a sense of helplessness and loss of control. This fear is part of your natural growth in Yahuwah. You see, our fears guide us through life. They keep us from electrocutting ourselves. They keep us from poisoning ourselves. And they help establish priorities to keep us from sinning. The growth you are now experiencing is necessary. Your wisdom to speed this growth follows. All fears in your life must be kept in balance. This balance comes from knowledge, truth, and understanding. My friend, know that you have complete control over yourself and knowledge. Your good works and your love of Yahuwah's ways will only bring return love from Yahuwah, truth. Your fear of what could happen is contained by your knowledge of what will happen if you maintain your priorities, understanding. A new fear will come when you fail occasionally in your godly ways, but the grace of Yahuwah mercy shall partially counter this newfound fear. Truly, this is a fear that will help you in the future, for when you lose this fear, you will have lost Yahuwah. Remember always that when a person sheds all of their fears in life, they are actually giving up control of their life and shall never understand the things that happen to them. To the one who struck by great loss. My friend, wisdom shall in no way help you through your troubles, but the knowledge given to you here will help you to understand what has happened to you or to your loved ones. Many people, good, honest, God-loving people, have had great tragedies in their lives. This always leads to wonder how Yahuwah would allow such a good person to be hurt so badly. But the misunderstanding is on our part, not Yahuwah's. The truth of the matter is very simple. We are governed by two sets of laws, the laws of nature and the laws of Yahuwah, our Eloah. The laws of nature govern our physical growth and the destinies of our body, while the laws of Yahuwah govern our spiritual growth and the destiny of our life. Regarding the laws of nature, they are set against us from the beginning, in that all of us, both great and small, shall meet within the same end. The rich and the poor leave this world as equals. The good and the evil do likewise. All of us equally are governed by the laws of nature. If we fail to take care of the body that Yahuwah gave us, our body will fail us. This applies to you, your loved ones, and everyone around you. If a person is in their own carelessness, injures themselves or another, the laws of nature will protect neither. If a loved one suffers from a 1 in a million chance accident, poisoning, or defect, then it shows that The laws of math apply to the good and the evil, also to the wise man and the fool. Now that you've understand what happened and why it happened, you need to understand why Yahuwah did not prevent it. To understand anything about Yahuwah, you must forget yourself and try to see life from his point of view. You see, there is no time in heaven. This is why Yahuwah is eternal. We cannot comprehend this in our world, but at the end of our world, all time will stop. Then shall heaven be brought down to earth. Therefore, the tragedy of our loss is our perception of the events of and not Yahuwah's. We mourn and we cry for ourselves and our loved ones to have more time and equality of life in this world. However, Yahuwah does not see it that way. If a person needs more time in this world to prove their self, Yahuwah may indeed give it to them. But if that person's name is already in the book of life, as mentioned in Revelations 20:12, there is no tragedy in their passing, only great joy. That person had nothing left to accomplish in his world. Our feeling of tragedy is only vanity and ignorance on our part, but truth can free you from both of these. My friend, if you remember nothing else, remember this, that the worst portion of a tragedy falls on those left behind. This is because our own feelings of inadequacy and failure, again, of our ignorance and vanity. Say no more than old age, there but for the grace of Yahuwah go I, because the truth of the matter is, there but for the passing of time go I, and time shall pass. Learn the truth of time, the wisdom you gain in understanding. This truth may indeed teach you the greatest lesson in life. Consider it and keep it close to your heart. To the one who needs help at a funeral. Mankind has always conducted funerals in remembrance of the dead. The truth of the matter is that we usually think of ourselves at funerals because we ourselves are afraid of dying. The truth is, the main reason that Messiah Yahushua told his disciples to let the dead bury the dead. You see, there comes a point where every person must ask the question, do I really believe that Yahuwah is going to raise the dead? The only answer comes when we realize that we cannot trust ourselves to keep us from death, nor can we trust in Yahuwah to keep us from death. Rather, we must trust in Yahuwah to raise us from the dead. So the bottom line is that death must come. So many of us are taught that when we are called upon to face death, we are to have faith in Yahuwah, that he will keep us from our troubles. This is the real challenge for every person facing death, all of us. Deep down, we know this faith must fail. If not now, when? No, there is no hope in life. The ultimate hope is only through death. We should find confidence that the person being remembered at a funeral has reached their point we shall all come to, and he made the journey with honor. This person reached the passing with dignity. They faced all of this truth and accepted their lot. This also is what we think about at funerals. We are afraid we will fail as they succeeded. What we can learn from funerals is that the ultimate hope is in Yahuwah, not in life. Let Messiah Yahushua be our example. As he died, we shall die. As he rose, we shall rise. He has shown us the way. Let us not shy away from the journey. Let us not spend our efforts avoiding that which must come. As this person, many before them, that Christ himself had done, let us keep faith in Yahuwah. To the one that knows not how to walk in the ways of Yahuwah. After thousands of years of corrupt and mostly ignorant people, ministers, teachers, theologians, etc., who at their own whims changed the word of Yahuwah, and it has become exceedingly difficult for a person to learn and live according to the ways of Yahuwah. Mankind has always completely misunderstood the message of Messiah Yahushua and has twisted this message to suit mankind. Yahuwah told man to observe the Sabbath on the seventh day. Mankind moved it to the first day. Yahuwah told man which meats to eat and which to avoid. Mankind put aside the word of Yahuwah. Yahuwah told man not to make any images or of worship. Mankind made many images and taught others to pray to the dead saints instead of Yahuwah. Yahuwah told man to observe 7 holy days. As he laid out, mankind forgot the holy days and invented their own. Yahuwah taught mankind how to pray from their hearts. Mankind invented thoughtless recantations called prayer, and most people do not even realize what they are saying. My friend, look at the organized religions of the world. Some measure their people by how much they give. Some believe that any who are not of their faith and belief will burn in hell forever. Some have their own private holy days where church attendance is mandatory. Some excommunicate sinners, politicians who support abortion, and seemingly keep the good people to themselves. Some go on television and perform miracles through the set, even though the broadcast was recorded and edited days earlier and broadcast via mass satellite transmissions. Absolutely none of this is prescribed by Yahuwah in the laws he laid out for Moses. It is very important to note that Yahuwah never changed the laws he laid out for Moses. Only mankind changed them very slowly throughout the generations. That which seems to have been brought down through the ages as tradition may indeed be an abomination to Yahuwah, especially if he did not prescribe it. Messiah Yahushua did not change anything that was before him. He only promised everlasting life and the forgiveness of sins to those indeed worthy. From here, mankind has decided what it takes to be worthy. Listen to your heart. If the ways of your church are confusing and complicated, mankind has made it that way, not Yahuwah. Yahuwah wants a simple love, a love measured by the way you treat others and treat him. He does not care if you follow the little meticulous rules laid out by your church. My friend, read the Old Testament where Yahuwah tried to direct mankind over and over again. You will learn much about Yahuwah and what simple acts he expects from you. When you do learn a little here and there, remember that Yahuwah has changed nothing. What he said to man 4,000 years ago still applies. Let no one tell you otherwise than is stated here. Mankind and Satan have forever been changing the word of Yahuwah. Here is your wisdom to guide you through your temporary confusion. When Messiah Yahushua came to this world, he merely added to what Yahuwah had promised earlier. He changed nothing. He learned the difference between adding to and changing one's word, and you will come to understanding the eternity of Yahuwah. You will learn how most all of today's churches are wrong in what they practice and what they preach. Finally, you will obtain the freedom to read the word of Yahuwah and to actually believe exactly what it says without needing a minister to interpret it for today's world. My dear friend, strive always to be a good person, for it is written that the steps of a good person are ordered by Yahuwah. These are the steps which will carry you into the ways of Yahuwah.